Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel we are all about real makeup for real life and real people. If you're new to this series, every month I come to you, I bring you a couple of top products for the month, whether new, old, or otherwise, some bottom products maybe, shop my stash standout products, and any channel announcements, plus whatever other shenanigans I throw in. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, if you are new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave if you like what you see today, and then you'll be able to find the rest of my videos more easily on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when I upload. So this month I actually have 4 top products. A couple are new, a couple not so new, but let's just go ahead and get into it. This product I rolled into my Partners in Cream project in April, and I've just been enjoying it so much. And that is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, Hollywood Contour Wand. I have the shade Fair to Medium. And if you are new to this product, it does have this little puff here that you dispense the product into, apply to your face, and then blend out. I most prefer to blend this out with a sponge, and I just think it's beautiful. And I especially think I just love putting this on first and then putting a powdered bronzer over top. I can use this as my one and only sort of bronzer product if I want to, and on lighter makeup days or days where I'm not filming, I absolutely do that. But on days like today, when I have all of the lights shining on me and everything, I do top it with a powder bronzer. And today I used the Ofra and Samantha March River Bronzer Duo. This is just so lightweight, easy, creamy, just absolutely effortless to blend. Just boop, 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 and you are done. So there's your Three Stooges impression for the day. And I've really been loving this, and this is not new to me. It's been in my collection for quite a long time, and I am glad that I chose to pan it because now I'm enjoying it. And you know, if I use it up and I feel like I want to buy it again, then maybe I will. Next is a mascara, and I don't talk about mascara too much on my channel because I think it is so personal. Everybody likes a little something different. Everybody has different lashes and therefore different lash needs. But for me, I have absolutely been loving the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. Now I will say the one con is that I do pretty regularly poke myself in my upper waterline when using this mascara. Maybe after some more time that won't be the case, but I still love this mascara. This does everything that I want in a mascara, and this puppy is so chic. I just can't believe it. Okay, let's show you the wand. Very, very typical looking silicone brush on this wand here. The formula is wet, but not in an annoying way, not in a very hard to manage, very hard to build up. This really does build up the lashes beautifully, and it gives volume without taking away any of the definition or the length. And for me, I don't like clumpy lashes, and this does not clump your lashes, but it will give them volume, which is exactly what I want in a mascara. This mascara finds lashes I didn't even know I had. The teeniest, tiniest of baby lashes. It will find them, it will coat them, it will define them. And this is just so, so beautiful to me that, I mean, I would easily repurchase this any day of the week, and probably will, because why would I not buy a $5 mascara, which is even cheaper, mind you, than my other drugstore favorite, which is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, and I like this one better. This is a little bit more fluffy, like feathery fluffy, whereas this is more defined and lengthened. So they're both good, but man, this one has knocked my socks off recently. And then I also have a palette for this month, which I don't always have, but this month, this palette, I did 3 looks with it for you guys, which was requested, and I love this more than I thought I would. This is the Colourpop That's Taupe palette. I first of all really love the packaging, even though I hate snakes, and I did get into that in that video. But this is what you're looking at here. You do have a Super Shock shadow in here, and then 3 different metallics. The rest are matte. There are no pressed glitters, and there are no sequin shades in this palette. So I think, you know, overall this is fantastic. I do have a little bit of a Super Shock shadow, not the one in here, on my eyes today. It is the shade Ladybird. It's Super Shock shadow, just a boop boop. I just wanted a little extra sparkle for some reason today. The funny thing about this palette is I didn't think anything could top the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette for me in terms of a beautiful everyday neutral palette that could also be used for glam. I love this palette. It definitely tops the Going Coconuts palette for me, and I just think it's absolutely fantastic. If you want more information, you want to hear me gush about this palette a little bit more, I will link that video where I did 3 looks with this palette, and I was able to get 3 very distinctly different looks from this palette. For me, 10 out of 10 on this palette. There's nothing I don't like about this palette at all. I love the addition of a straight up gray in this palette, as well as this really beautiful deep brown. I don't want to put this away, if I'm being honest. I might just keep it out for a while, and I'm very seriously considering putting this into my 21 pans project when I finish off with one of my other little palettes that I'm working on right now. I think I might use this one next, because I just would love to pan one of these matte shades in here, like hit pan, not pan it completely. I'm not crazy, just a little bit. And then kind of an honorable mention, I didn't write this one down, but it immediately came to me when I used this morning, and that is the e.l.f. Putty Blush Brush. I love this. Here's why. A lot of people have this brush from Luxie. For me, these bristles have always been too long. I just don't like using this for cream blushes. I do, however, love this e.l.f. 105 brush. Love this one, especially for cream blush. But then, for whatever reason, I was possessed to pick this up during a sort of a restock of some essentials from Ulta Beauty recently, and I just absolutely adore this. It's so small, and I think that's what I like about it. Even compared to this brush, which is relatively small, it's also a duo fiber brush, and I adore this brush, but this is even smaller, and I just love that I can sort of like start on the apple of the cheek and then just ever so slightly kind of blend it up or what have you. I don't know, just something about the size of this brush I feel like is so nice for working with cream blushes, especially cream blushes that can be a little bit scary. For example, the one I'm wearing today and trying to wear multiple times this month for monochromatic project pan is this one from Fenty Beauty. This is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in the shade Strawberry Drip. And I just used this and built it up in small layers until I liked the opacity. And so I think this brush is like $4, which is very good. And I just like it. And it's actually become a favorite even over my favorite 105 brush. So putting that out there. So those are all of my top products for the month. Let's talk about a couple of fails. The first one I don't have. I've given it to my daughter. Lord only knows where she puts things in her bathroom. It's a total teenage bathroom. But it is the Innisfree Matte Sunscreen. I'll put a picture on the screen here for you so you can see it. I am 100% certain that this sunscreen broke me out. Now, I usually use the Coats Face Moisture Lightly Tinted Sunscreen, SPF 35, and sometimes I use the Coats Matte Sunscreen during the summer. So I thought I would try this one from Innisfree. I believe it was $10 at Sephora. I just thought I'd try it. it first of all leaves a horrible white cast, which I'm not, you know, that's not too much of a problem for me because my Coats one gets kind of white on the skin as well. You're just going to get that if you're using a mineral sunscreen, which is my preference. But, you know, it goes away after it sits on your skin for a few minutes. But this one absolutely broke me out, especially along my chin and jawline. Quickly went away, but my daughter had tried it one day when we were going to be outside doing yard work and she had put sunscreen on. She liked it, and she has slightly drier skin. She's not acne prone yet. Anyways, she just turned 13, so she likes it. She's been using it and I'm all for that, but it did not work for me. And then the other product I just wanted to mention, I mean, this is not like a hate, and it is still a product that I'm working on finishing up, but it is the Hourglass Veil Primer. It's a mineral primer, oil-free, sunscreen, broad spectrum, SPF 15. I just don't like this. First of all, it's got that kind of cream to powder, like, it gives me like nails on the chalkboard feel. When you're like rubbing it into your skin, it starts out as a liquid and then it starts feeling like powder. There's something about that texture that really grinds my gears. But also, I just don't think this does my skin, my almost 40-year-old skin. I have enlarged pores, all of that. I just don't think it does my skin any favors. I really thought this was supposed to be more of a smoothing primer, you know, something to help with the pores or what have you. But ultimately, it just emphasizes my pores, my texture, my forehead lines, the whole thing. I thought that the culprit of that actually was my L'Oreal Stick Foundation that I'm working on in Partners in Cream, but I used that today without this, and this is the culprit. So like I said, I'll use it up, but nope. So sort of as an extension to my tops this month, it's not like this every month, but I did have a few standout products this month from my Shop My Stash. I'll link that video in case you missed it so you can see the selection process and see what I was working with through the month of April. But the first thing that I had pulled into my Shop My Stash that just blew my mind and blew my other choices in this category out of the water, whether project pan or otherwise, it's the Wet n Wild Mega Lash Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. I have the shade Light Beige, and I don't know how this is so good. I am not kidding you when I tell you I enjoyed this more this month than I did trying the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. It was not any kind of perfection, and it certainly wasn't sublime. This is so hydrating. It's just beautiful and creamy and just looks beautiful under the eyes. I don't wear full coverage anything, or I don't wear anything at a full coverage level, but this stuff is awesome. You don't have to. Sometimes I feel like with other full coverage concealers like the Pat McGrath one, maybe I'm not using enough to get the benefits or the application that I need, but I don't like full coverage, so it was probably stupid to buy the Pat McGrath one. But this one, I was using this over my Milk Flex concealer, which was also in Shop My Stash, and I was definitely using this over my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer, which is in a project pan. I cannot get over how hydrating this is. This is everything that I wanted the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer to be, but wasn't. It just, oh, so beautiful, and it does sort of dry down, but not to a matte finish. I didn't feel like I really needed to powder this. Yep, it's good. It's that good. I'm, you know, next week on TikTok, that's probably what's will be there, but I won't know because I don't have a TikTok. All right, and then the other thing that was another kind of standout that I've had for a long time in my collection for my Shop My Stash this month was my BareMinerals Complexion Rescue. Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream, and I have the shade 5.5 Bamboo. This does have SPF 30 in it, which is always a great thing. This is just a really good texture for my oily skin. It's creamy, and so it has that pigment to it. You know, it's light coverage in my opinion, or at least that's how I wear it. It feels like a gel when you put it on the skin, like a gel moisturizer. It's a little bit cooling and it's very lightweight and it really just sinks into the skin. But this also has the creaminess to it that holds those beautiful pigments, causes them to disperse beautifully on the skin no matter what capacity you wear it at. And no matter what tool you use with it. I typically use my fingers, but I have applied it with a brush and I have applied it with a sponge as well. All of them work, which is always a bonus because everybody's different in how they like to apply their base products. So this was a real standout for me. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to work on panning this one after I finish my L'Oreal Stick Foundation. It is one of the older foundation products in my collection. It's also a really good shade match for me right now, where I'm just starting to get a little bit of a color to my skin. My skin's not translucent anymore. So I don't know, I really like this. I know a ton of other YouTubers that like this. Dry skin, oily skin, normal skin, and I love it. All right, so the next thing I thought would be kind of fun to talk about. Some of you may or may not know that I stay organized with my Shop My Stash and Project Pan stuff in my bullet journal, or my bujo as I like to call it. And this month for my Shop My Stash, I always list out all the products by a month. But this month I actually kept a tally on each time that I used the products in my Shop My Stash. I already do that for Project Panning, but I started this month for Shop My Stash because I thought it would be interesting to see what products I'm using the most. So this month I thought I would share with you the top 3 and how they came in order. The third place goes to my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I have the shade Light 6W. I don't know why I know my shades. Anyhow, I love this. I like it just as much as the BareMinerals actually. This is a little more creamy. I use a little bit less of this than I do the BareMinerals in terms of quantity of product. But I really like this. It surprisingly does very well on my skin. And my skin's pretty normal right now, right? I'm gonna be full on oily come summer, and I'm more normal during the winter, or at least my skin is. So I really enjoyed that this month, and you know, I have no complaints. I'm really glad that I got that. I still want to try mixing that one with the Pretty Fresh foundation because that one is still a hard pass for me. So coming in second place was the Wet n Wild concealer. I use this by far more than the Milk Flex concealer and more than my Charlotte Tilbury. And more than my Glossier stretch concealer as well, which is something I just kind of keep on hand, and I typically wear on days where I'm wearing little to no makeup, but I want to conceal the baggage, you know? Can't say enough good things about it. And then coming in first place, no surprise, the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue. I don't think it will be my base products that are the top products every month necessarily, because I am working on panning some base products and things like that. But this month, the things that excited me, the things I was using consistently, were those 3 products. And then I only have one channel update for the month, and that is that there will be no custom palette for the month of May. And the reason being because over the next couple of months, I'm gonna be taking smaller brand collections from my palette collection and using those palettes alone. For example, ABH Norvina collection, I have 4 of those. Just the regular ABH 14 pan palettes. I have a bunch of Natasha Denona palettes. So I don't know which one I'm going to use yet because I have a poll up over on my Instagram. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I don't know what you guys are going to pick right now. Where I'm at, I believe the poll shows that you want to see the Natasha Denona palettes, but there's still like a full 12 hours until the poll is done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little roundup of a lot of base products this month. I typically don't get very excited about base products, but I think this month I was just struggling with my skin a little bit because of that sunscreen, and then also having some texture issues, which I think was not helped by the Hourglass primer. So I'm just looking forward to starting fresh next month. I'm going to finish up that stinking L'Oreal stick foundation and that primer, and then we're going to move on to better complexion products. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for spending part of your precious time here with me today. I do always appreciate each and every one of you. And if you do like videos like this, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up down below, because that lets me know to continue with this series and things like that. So I hope that you are all well, safe, healthy, all of the good things in life. I wish them for you, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.